What was your first job or internship?
I used to work as a camp counselor at a camp called Super Camp, and though it sounds really cheesy, it was such an inspirational camp for kids where we're all about like building kids up, and it was like, as a counselor, it was life-changing for me, and I hope it was for the kids too.
Gosh, I was going to say one of my first real jobs was as a birthday party hostess at a like Chuck E. Cheese type.
That's a real first job.
For me, honestly, is when I first started working at CBS, because I'd been such a digital person and such a self-made sort of journalist. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe all the little ins and outs, and it made me feel really smart. And when I walked around and I was like, I work at CBS, and I really knew like what I was talking about, and it gave me that confidence, you know?
My first thing was local theater in Mississippi. When I was 5 years old, they did The Wizard of Oz, and I wanted to be Dorothy, but they said I was too short and too young, and so I got to be a munchkin in the Land of Oz. And so it was like, I guess, like a lesson into the business. You don't always get what you want.
My first internship was when I was 16 years old. I got an internship in a local newsroom in Sacramento, California, and I would go and I would run the teleprompters before school at like 5:30 in the morning, and then go to school, and then afterwards I'd go back and sit with the news writers, and that's kind of where I learned how the news business works.
Well, sometimes what you learn is not good, but you still learn it. One of my first job was I was a hostess at a restaurant. Restaurants can be as gross and nasty and just as unpleasant as you could possibly imagine, and it's all about smiling and you know, learning to present yourself to the world, and it's very shallow, and yet at the same time it's hard. It's just on your feet all day trying to look happy. Like,
oh, I worked at Dollar Rent-A-Car in Miami, and I learned that like corporate stuff wasn't for me.